I think by now everybody knows that Luciano does amazing, great dupes, clones of Louis Vuitton fragrances. You know what, and if you're like me, you've been waiting for so long for a fragrance dupe, a good dupe by Luciano of Imagination. Well, it's finally here, I'm proud to present, and this is I can't talk again. This is Luciano's Mystic Dream, a dupe of Louis Vuitton's Imagination. What is it, a ferret? Let's get right to the sprays here. I almost just sprayed myself right in the face. Made sure the atomizer was anyway, let's do 4 sprays. 5, here we go. Oh my God, the opening's amazing. Immediately, right off the top, if you're not familiar with what Imagination smells like, you get hit with citruses and a ginger note. There is a ginger note that is just super prominent to me in these fragrances. It is very fresh and clean and uplifting. That's what this fragrance is all about. I'm not gonna lie, the opening of this is really good. It's very fresh and clean. It's a little bit fizzy and spicy, almost like effervescent. Is that the right word? Effervescent, like a sparkly champagne, like a citrus champagne that's erupting out of a volcano and melting on your skin. And there is a little bit of a spicy quality from this fragrance, but it's not dark spicy, not like a holiday spice, but like a fresh spicy. Very bright. The opening on this is a very bright citrus and ginger bomb. Honestly, I think anybody would agree that the opening of this is really good. It's very pleasant. I can't see anybody saying, oh, that smells like straight shit. You won't say it. But unfortunately, as this fragrance starts to dry down, I will say I think that the opening is better than the dry down. In my personal opinion, the opening of Louis Vuitton's Imagination is better than the dry down, and in Luciano's Mystic Dream, the opening is also, in my opinion, better than the dry down. But what is the dry down? You really start to pick up some soft, fluffy musks that cut through here. Very clean smelling musks. They're very soft and round smelling, but the key player to my nose is neroli. Neroli really starts to come out in this fragrance, and it gives it like a soapy vibe. If you don't like soapy fragrances, you're probably not gonna like this because it has a soapy, clean neroli quality. But what is neroli? Neroli is the essential oil that is made from the bitter orange tree, the flowers of the bitter orange tree. I don't know what species of tree, but they take that, you know, the essential oil of that is neroli. Let's do a mic spray. I mean, the atomizer on these Luciano fragrances are just really good. Very good for the price, which we'll talk about later, but I'm gonna let you know that it's way cheaper than Louis Vuitton fragrances. I'm also picking up a little bit of like a tea quality. Like there's a tea note in here. I don't think it's as strong as actual Imagination by Louis Vuitton, but it's in here. This is pretty close. We'll talk about that again a little bit later. So let's recap this. What do we have here? We have a citrus fragrance, right? Bright citrus, very happy, very fresh, very clean. That dries down, a little bit florally, a little bit musky, but a clean musk. And that neroli comes out, smells very nice. I do like the opening more than the dry down, like I said already 5 times, but it's just the truth. I mean, this fragrance, honestly, if you've ever smelled Louis Vuitton's Imagination, you know that this fragrance just kills it in the summer months. It really does, especially the summer and spring. I probably really wouldn't rock this in the cooler months. There's just other choices, but for summer, this is really good, and it's a unisex fragrance. Did you hear that? It's complete unisex. Some people think it leans a little more masculine. I personally think it almost leans a little bit more feminine, but I mean, it's cut right down the middle, 50-50 unisex. It can be worn by any age. I don't think that really matters. Any occasion, you know, date nights, to the work, to the office, to the school. If you're a prison guard, you can wear this in prison. It's just a very high quality smelling, nice fragrance. But I want to talk about what we're here for, and that is Luciano's Mystic Dream. And you're all wondering, for the price point, how does this compare to Louis Vuitton's Imagination? Let's get a couple more sprays. I want to really make it smell nice in here. Let's really get the vibe of this. So the projection and the longevity on this are pretty good. Honestly, I think that the projection and longevity on the Mystic Dream like nudges out Imagination just a little bit. I mean, it really does. Now, yes, as you can imagine, it does smell a little bit more synthetic. To my nose, it's a little bit sweeter, maybe a little bit more fruity or punchier. I don't know. You can definitely tell a difference in these two. I think out of the Luciano line so far, This one is close, but it's not as close to imagination as some of the other ones are. Did that make sense? Let's talk about the price. So for an 100 ml, the 3.4 ounce of this is roughly $35 to $40, depending on if it's hyped up too much, right? But right now it's $35. The same size 100 ml of Imagination by Louis Vuitton is about $300 to $400. How much is it? It's $400, right? Is it $400? I don't know. It's too much money though. In my personal opinion, I know some of you hate dupes and clones, but here's the deal. You get this for $35, you spray it on you, and if you absolutely love it, then you can go and invest in a $300+ bottle. Oh my Lord, a $300+ bottle of Louis Vuitton's Imagination. So I think it's definitely worth it, as this is a standalone for the price for $35. If Imagination never existed, this is absolutely amazing. It lasts long, it smells good. How close is it to Louis Vuitton's Imagination? I would say this one is like 80 to 85%. The opening is there, it's a little bit sweeter. The dry down gets a little bit closer, but there are some differences in these two fragrances. But for the price point, I really think it's just a no-brainer. And if you want to get samples of this bad boy, click down below. I'll have some links to the fragrance channel decants. I'll make you a sample of this exact bottle and ship it right through your chimney with Santa Claus when Christmas time comes, if you believe in that. So once again, is it worth it to purchase this? In my opinion, it is, but that's gonna be up to you. Now, just let's hold on for a second here. I wanna talk about Luciano as a whole, right? So Luciano right now has all dupes of Louis Vuitton. We've already established that, but I just wanna, let's round it up in this video. Let's sum them up. So we have Mystic Dream here. I think this is about 80%, 85 to Imagination. I wish it was a little bit closer. I don't think it's the best in the line, but it is a really good dupe of Imagination, that being said. Next up, we have Coastal Breeze, which I did a video of. This is a dupe of Pacific Chill. This gets like 95%. This is absolutely an amazing one. After that, we have California Dreamin'. You know what? I think this was reformulated because the first one wasn't as close, but this newer bottle I got is really good. And you know what? I'm not gonna lie, and some of you may disagree with this, but I take California Vibe over Mystic Dream. So California Dreamin' over Imagination. It's just my personal preference, but I prefer that. Next up, if you're a fan of Ombre Nomad by Louis Vuitton, well, Ombre Nimbus, I think it's like 100%. It's like high 95. That might not be your style of fragrance. You know, it's leathery and strong and whatnot, but there you go. And Elemencite, I don't know how to say that one. Elemencite, well, you have Magnitude, which is a great dupe of that. About 90% close again, but my favorite out of the whole Luciano line so far has to be Afternoon Swim's dupe of Sunset Swim. This stuff smells amazing. I would take this as my #1 choice of the dupes. Sunset Swim, Elemencite, Magnitude, then Coastal Breeze, and then the Imagination dupe of Mystic Dream comes in. I don't know, you be the judge. I'm gonna do a video going over all of these and giving you my top picks and choices and what I think compared to the other Louis Vuitton dupes and clones on the market, because I know there's a lot of them, we all know that, but in my personal opinion, Luciano is killing it for the price point. And if you get 90% close, then what does it matter if you get the redundancy of another brand that's 90% close? Choose one that you like. I like these. I'm gonna keep buying them, so that's what I think, bruh. On that note, I'm gonna end with another loop-de-doop-de spray of Mystic Dream. Maybe it'll give me some good dreams tonight, who knows? Here we go. Ooh, ooh, feel the dream.